Hello once again, and it is me, Readman, and it has been an incredibly long time since any of these kind of things have been done myself. I've been on a rather long hiatus. There's been a few different things that have happened, and haven't been able to fully make any of these videos lately, unfortunately, but the good news is I do now have time, and I'd like to kind of start off by getting back into just playing some games, showing you the video games I enjoy playing, some of the ones that interest me, and what I'm going to do is start off right now is with this game that is called Kerbal Space Program. There's probably quite a few people who have already played it or seen it, but I always say there's always room for one more, so what we're going to be doing is showing off a couple things right now. Well, first of all, is this one here is well, I called it the Riker, but I think probably the better name is Express Train, and you'll see what I mean in a second. And I'm just going to zoom out and show you guys a little bit of it. That's the command module here. I'll go ahead and admit already that I kind of fudged things a bit just because I wanted the full range of access, and maybe I'll do at some point a quote career and kind of start from scratch, because the stuff that you get to start with, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, so what we have here to begin with, down at the bottom, and you'll note on the right side of the screen here where the cursor is, there's different stages, and when I go to the stages it lights up. So that's the first. It's a pretty behemoth 4-engine unit, and then this little thing up here means it separates. And then inside this little container there is another engine for when I do get into orbit. I suppose it kind of makes sense that this being a space program game, the whole idea is to go into space and go explore things. So I launched one of these earlier, and I already have a couple ships in orbit. So I mean, getting into orbit isn't the most important thing at this point. I'm just going to kind of show you. And again, these orange things are two gigantic rocket fuel engines that are attached together, because this thing doesn't have any fuel. It needs to get fuel, and it's the kind of thing I can get into in future episodes and maybe do stuff a little more complicated. But right now, I've actually been playing this for a little bit over a month or two, and this is the first time that I've decided, okay, well, I'm going to show it off and show some of my contraptions. But enough of that. So we go here to this green button to the launch pad, and it's going to take a moment for that to load up. So we'll go to the launch pad, and here we are. It's daylight. It's going to be a daylight launch. There is a day-night cycle, of course, because just like on real life. So if I go and hit the M for the map, what you'll see here, this is one that I launched earlier, and this is one that's currently in orbit as well. Apparently there's that's me here. I'm in orbit, and this is the one that I already launched that I didn't launch on video. But so this is a pretty basic setup, nothing too fancy. Like I said, so the first thing I need to do is I need to turn on the SAS, which is the stability system, because if I don't do that, I'm going to go a little wonko. And so again, this launch, I was actually myself surprised earlier when I did it at the rate of ascent, but I guess there's nothing else to do but to launch, and hopefully there's no catastrophes, because I didn't last time. And so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we have ignition. So we're ascending. As you see here, there's the altitude, not the altitude, well, up here is the altitude, but down here is our rate of ascent. So I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, maybe get rid of some of that feedback that might be from the engine. And here we go. So so it's a pretty thirsty unit, the engine I'm using. That's kind of why I got, as I said, two honked together, I guess you could say, liquid units. They're burning up the fuel as we speak. Again, the physics in this game are remarkable, because there's actual, you can see here, drag on my unit, and I might need to throttle down just a bit to kind of compensate for that. Hopefully that doesn't cause any problems. Again, we're only at about 4,000 meters right now. I could try to just power through it, but we don't want to go too crazy yet. See, like I said, it's increasing, but you know what? Oh, okay, so that's good. That sound means that my STS, or my stability rockets, are doing their thing, which is good. So I'm just gonna, you know what, increase the throttle. We're gonna power through it. I am starting to wobble a little bit, but nothing too serious or out of the ordinary yet. So you can see some mountains in the background from the planet Kerbal, and when I hit the M, you start to see my my orbiting. But again, so okay, so we're starting to get some friction because we're still in the atmosphere, but everything is pretty nominal so far. I might, again, I'm still consistently gaining surface speed, so maybe we can throttle it down just a bit, just so we don't cook our poor little Kerbal here. So let's throw it, and as you throttle it back, you'll kind of use a little less fuel too, which is good. I mean, at this point, fuel's probably not going to be a big deal. Like, I'm already getting pretty up there. And so it says surface. I expect that'll probably change over to orbit soon. Things are getting pretty hot and toasty. I'm going to look inside here. I can do a internal view. And my guy's seeing the flames, but I think those will dissipate soon. Anyway, yeah, okay, so we're making good speed, making good time. I'm probably going to run out of fuel on this soon, but that's okay, because I am actually now technically in orbit, but I got the fuel left over, and why not use it since I have it. Again, this is just going to be a demonstration, the fact that I can get into orbit. As I said, I have 2 other ships that are already in orbit. As I said, a pretty conventional design, but there goes the fuel. So what I'm going to do now is I hit the space bar, and I will release myself from that unit. And I'm going to let it get a bit of distance before I fire up my engine, because I don't want to cook myself. The good news is this unit that I do have is actually a pretty maneuverable unit. So I'm going to increase, or actually, you know what, I haven't even initiated my engine yet, so I'm going to do that right now. But I'm just going to very carefully initiate that and get some distance from that giant thing, and it's just going to fall to Earth, blow up. Doesn't really matter. We're not really too concerned with the environment at this point. And so this thing, it's pretty maneuverable. This is a fuel tank right here. Here's the command console, and again, it's kind of like a proof of concept, not really to anything too special. I mean, we're not going to really go anywhere. I just said get into orbit, show you how things work. And like I said, I'm going to turn off the STS so I can show you some maneuvers here. And flip over, do a bit of a spinny round. And if I hit this button, then I can actually kind of spin myself on the, I guess, the y-axis or x-axis, whatever you want to call it. But here I am spinning away. Whoa, I'm sure the guy inside just having a good old time doing that. I'm going to put my STS back on, and that'll stabilize me, or at least it should. And what I'm going to do, as soon as I stop spinning, because we're going to be at a 10-minute mark here, and I'm sure it's probably quite enough time to watch these kind of things, plus the upload and all that kind of fun stuff. It's not letting me do what I wanted. Oh, it's probably got to turn the STS off. And as I said, I'm going to kind of basically muck my orbit up so that I can return to Earth safely, hopefully. For all I know, this could end in catastrophe, as unfortunately some space programs have, but we try to keep that to a minimum here. And I'm just going to increase my engine to full so that we get going down. And I think if I just kind of make myself directly down, apparently I'm still sort of, yeah, so here we go. Yeah, let's do a burn. I wonder if I do a retrograde burn. Again, some of this stuff is kind of foreign to me. I don't really know what it means, but I'm still gaining altitude, so I don't know what that's all about. I don't want to do that. I'm going to go down. I wonder if I go to retrograde, if that'll do what I want to do. No, see, I'm still gaining altitude. Rather puzzling, but I want to show you guys a re-entry. But actually, you know what? I don't even really need. Okay, well, yeah. See, slowly you can see my inclination is decreasing, if you will. I mean, really, all I need to do is kind of let gravity take its course, which I'll do. And I'm going down, down, down. Before long, I'm gonna hit orbit. Oh, whoa, I don't know what's going on now. I'm flipping around. Well, really, yeah, I mean, it's gonna take its course, and I'm gonna be sent down. There's a certain point where I'm gonna want to decouple the engine. I could probably do it now. I mean, there's nothing really stopping me. Slowly but surely making my way down. Yeah, I guess I might as well just decouple. So there that goes, and fortunately for everyone involved, I do have a heat shield. So on the way down I don't burn up and do a fiery pile of bad times. So I'm just going to kind of fast forward it here, like I said, because we're starting to make a little bit of overtime. And down I go. And I'm going to hit the atmosphere before long, like I said, so I do want to make sure I'm not burning myself up, but like as I said, here's the heat shield. It's going to do its thing. Here's hoping, anyway. $82,000 meters and dropping, so for once I'm kind of glad that I'm losing altitude. Usually I want to be gaining altitude, but so away we go. Maybe I'll zoom it a little bit more. Maybe hitting, yeah, the atmosphere is increasing, you can see here. Kind of want to have a semblance of control once I hit the atmosphere though, but I don't think there's going to be any problems. I think actually what I should probably do more than anything is just go back to a stability mode, because I want to be stable. Shouldn't be any problems with that. It's just like I said, I got to be careful, like once the atmosphere has been burned off, I can deploy the parachute, and that'll kind of put an end to things. So I'll just kind of speed it up again, and here we go. So here comes the burn. Good thing, as like I said, I got my heat shield. It's just gonna help make sure nobody burns and just, everything like that. Like I said, I mean, if you're going into orbit, you come out of orbit, you gotta deal with the re-entry. It's just the way she goes. So here we go. Like I said, it's going pretty good. And so we're back into regular atmosphere before I deploy my parachute, I want to be certain that, you know, it's not going to... Okay, so I'm going to deploy now. 5,500 meters is probably a safe altitude. I guess we'll find out. And you'll see that I didn't really go too far from the base. It's way over there. Anyway, there's something over there too. I wonder what that is. Okay, that's just my engine. It's going to fall to the earth. And I got a couple other pieces of debris, some debris. And we're just going to fast forward this. Because like I said, this took a bit longer than I'd expected. And it's just because I was kind of doing some intro stuff for you guys. But here my parachutes go. Those are drogue chutes. They open those up high up to create some drag. And then this is the main chute. That's also a nose cone for some aerodynamics. And hopefully you don't hear that buzzing like I do. And if you do, I'm sorry about that. Speakers are being a bit of a bugger lately. And here we go. I'm going at 8 meters a second. It's not too bad, I expect. Should land pretty safely. And ooh, well, okay. I think my person's okay though. Let's make sure. Yep, they're alive. It was a bit of a rocky landing. I think it's because I didn't land in the water like maybe I should have. But hey, they're alive. And if I want, I can plant a flag. But anyway, we'll get into a few other things. Blip, blip, bloop, blip, blip, blip. And so I hope everyone had a good time. And if you do watch this, and if you thought you liked it, go ahead and throw me a comment, throw me a thumbs up. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, if I'm doing anything wrong, because I know this is a very... Oh, dear. I think that was something landing nearby. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you know, that's the whole thing. I want to get back into this, start getting into it. I know it's pretty crowded out there, and you have your choice of video game or computer game rocket launchers, and you chose, hopefully, this one. And we will see you in the future. In the meantime, game on, have a good time, bye.